Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you.
How about one for him? How about it?
Thank you.
How about one for him?
Thank you.
Did that video make you feel good? We know what we're up against. We know. They're being very clear these days. And yesterday was a busy day for all of us. We're checking into the hotel. A lot of you are flying in, etc. And I happened to turn on TV late last night to get a glimpse of our democracy in action with the hearing yesterday with a certain guy who calls himself a lawyer. I never really heard of a lawyer secretly taping their own clients, but it's interesting, the terminology that gets used. And to both of you, I think you need to understand something. When you're in that hearing and you're taking those stands, you are speaking for all of us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And to Congressman Jordan, who had the job of sitting right there at the tippy top, leading the Republicans on the committee, help us understand what is going on.
This is step one in the Democrats' crazy efforts to impeach the President of the United States. It's no accident that last week Tom Steyer, mega donor for the Democrats, organized a town hall in Jerry Nadler's district in Manhattan. Chairman of the Judiciary Committee organizing his constituents, persuading them, pushing them to push Mr. Nadler to start impeachment proceedings. And this week, Mr. Steyer did the same thing in Chairman Cummings' district. So yesterday was step one, and the best they could come up with is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress. That's their star witness. That's their first big hearing. So that's what this is all about. In spite of the great record the president has, I mean, I love the end of the montage there where the president's talking about making America great again, wealthy again, all the things he's doing. Think about this. I said this all during the campaign last year. Think about the first 2 years of this presidency. Taxes have been cut, regulations reduced, economy growing at an unprecedented rate, unemployment at its lowest in 50 years. We're out of the Iran deal. Embassies in Jerusalem, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the court, the hostages are home from North Korea, new NAFTA agreement, and a president who at the State of the Union will stand up and talk about the sanctity of human life. This is an amazing 2 years. And yet the Democrats want to impeach him. It's crazy. So that's what yesterday was about. It was the start of laying that foundation. We just got to be ready for it, know it's coming, and stop him with the facts.
Okay, so Congressman Meadows, we got some new sheriffs in town that are supposedly running the House of Representatives. I think your colleague just told us where they're running to.
Yeah,
they're running
to the left.
They're running to the left. They're embracing socialism. Help all of the conservatives, by the way, not just the wonderful conservatives in this room, but the millions of people who are watching America overseas and from across their own country, looking into the swamp and saying, what's going on? Do you really think that the Democratic Party is having a full embrace with socialism?
Well, they are embracing socialism, but before I get there, I've got a message from you. I talked to the President of the United States, and, well, maybe I ought to start it out this way. Good morning, deplorables. How about that? I mean, you know, he loves you guys, and so whether you're watching online or you're here this morning, it is the forgotten man and woman that this president is here to represent, and he's representing all of us. But it's all about trying to change who we are as a nation. It's time that we quit apologizing for our greatness. We're a great country, and we need to celebrate it. But, you know, here's the interesting thing, though. You know, with this Green New Deal, they're trying to get rid of all the cows. But I've got good news. Chick-fil-A stock will go way up because we're going to be eating more chicken, all right? I mean, so listen, we can laugh a little bit about it, but this is a serious thing, Matt, as you mentioned, because really what's happening is they're trying to lay the foundation for truly impeachment. Jim was talking about it, but it's not just impeachment. It's taking away everything that is foundational to who we are. We don't have to look any further than Venezuela. And I think it was a young Bernie Sanders that was talking about it's good to be in line to wait for food. I mean, give me a break. You know, in Venezuela, they're wondering if they have enough rabbits to feed their people. I mean, we've got to get to a point where we celebrate capitalism and understand that in America, it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, that the American dream is available for everybody. I've lived the American dream, and quite frankly, it is available to each and every person. And if we start this socialism, you know, I guess Ocasio-Cortez is doing it in her office, you know, where she's saying that she's upped the amount of money that she's paying for staff assistants to $52,000. She is not going to have a single problem getting a staff assistant in Washington, D.C. Now, she may have a problem getting some of those people at the upper portion, but real socialism doesn't just take the money that we pay to employees and compress it. It actually would take her salary and compress it. So, I mean, that's what, you know, she's really serious about it. Maybe she needs to put her money in there.
I think you've got some legislation. You might want to drop that bill. That's a great idea.
We would love it.
How about avowed socialists in Congress have to pay everyone in their office, including themselves, the same amount, right?
I love it.
That's a good bill.
Yeah, it's a good bill.
So, Congressman Jordan, people are worried. As your colleague and friend says, you know, this whole embrace of socialism, we could mock it, but it's also quite serious, especially when you look at the Democrats who are lining up to be your next president, our next president. We've never seen this before. Other Democrats who have achieved the presidency, they ran as centrists, all of them. Now they're running as people embracing a failed ideology, a dangerous ideology. Give us some hope about what Republicans in Congress can do to fight back.
No, we just got to tell the truth and understand the basic fact here. They're going to be running against Donald Trump, and they're not going to beat him. When it gets down to President Trump against whoever the left nominates, President Trump is going to clean their clock, in my judgment. He's going to win. Understand just how radical think about this. They cheer on Kaepernick when he disrespects the flag. They embrace Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, when he said America was never that great. And they also embrace Maxine Waters when she says go out and harass anybody who supports the president. Remember that rant she did? Get in their face when they're at the store, at the gas, where. This is how radical they are. And then the positions, Green New Deal, 70% marginal tax rate. Think about what they've done on immigration alone, just on immigration. Congressman Blumenauer said abolish ICE. Nancy Pelosi said walls are immoral. You had the leader of their party in the last presidential campaign say she wants a borderless hemisphere. And the person, now think about this, the person they had give the State of the Union response after the president's amazing speech, the person they had give the response, Stacey Abrams, has said she's okay with non-citizens voting. So they take those radical positions up against the record of our president and the leadership of our president. It's going to be no contest. The American people are smart. They like this idea that you get to set goals in this country and go chase them down and do good things for you and your family. That's the American dream. They like that, and they're going to support President Trump.
So we live in an era of statesmen. Real statesmen are really stepping up. Tell me about this Adam Schiff. I mean, there's a real statesman there, huh? What's it like?
Well,
do you need some time to think?
No, I don't need any time to think. There's plenty of material. It's a target-rich environment if you want to talk about Adam Schiff. You know, here's the interesting thing. He continues to go on over and over and over again saying that he's got all this collusion evidence. You know, what I say is bring it on, because we know that he doesn't have anything. In fact, the one thing that we may be able to believe yesterday from Michael Cohen is the fact that he said there was no evidence of Russia collusion. I mean, you know, it's about time that we call them out for what they are. I mean, listen, Adam Schiff, don't you think it'd be a great idea to bring Adam Schiff here to CPAC and have him debate Jim Jordan? What do you think about that?
I like it. I like it. I'd like him to bring all those documents with him, you know.
Well, declassify the documents. That's right. And I think that's the big thing is we believe in transparency. Transparency is good. Declassify the documents. And when you see it, you will realize that this president has been telling the truth when it comes to this whole hoax. But, you know, after yesterday, people are starting to hum ding dong, the witch is dead. I can tell you that, all right?
Adam Schiff met with Glenn Simpson this summer. Adam Schiff palling around with the very guy who was paid to put together the fake dossier. And what did we learn yesterday in the hearing? Adam Schiff has also been talking with Michael Cohen about the topics that are going to be discussed today in the Intel closed-door hearing. This is scary. And you go back to the basics here, and I know you all know this. The Clinton campaign paid the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired Glenn Simpson, who then went and hired who? A foreigner to put together the fake dossier that they funneled through all different sources to our FBI, and the FBI actually used that document, dressed it all up, make it appear to be legitimate intelligence, took it to a secret court to get a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. And guess what? The American people didn't buy it. And they elected Donald Trump president. And now what are the Democrats doing? Because that scheme failed, they're trying this crazy impeachment thing that we just talked about. That's where they're at. And all we got to do is, just like Mark said, present the truth. Just like Matt does with CPAC, present the truth, present why our ideas are so much better. And if we do that, Donald Trump is going to kick their tail in the next election, and we're going to win back the House.
North Carolina?
Hey,
you're going to be okay?
He's going to be more than okay in North Carolina. I can tell you just a real quick story. We were going early on when the campaign was going. I was on the plane with Donald Trump. And by the way, he is the only president that went backwards when he got Air Force One. I just want to let you know that, all right? But we were on the plane traveling over, and he says, well, how do you think we're going to do? Everybody's saying that we're going to lose North Carolina by 5 points. I said, Mr. President, not only are you going to win North Carolina, but you're going to win it by more than 3 points. He reminds me that he won it by 3.5 points and that I was wrong. But the recent polls have him way ahead. He's actually more popular. And why? Because he actually has fulfilled his campaign promises that he promised all of us. That's why. That's why.
What a novel concept.
Just do what you say. My good friend says it all the time. It never hurts to do what you said you would do.
There's really nothing he's done that you didn't talk about. Yeah. And it drives people crazy who don't like him.
Right.
Because they want to tell you he's dishonest, he's this, he's that. What is more honest than going in front of huge rallies and all these television cameras and all these people and saying, hey, guess what? I want to build a wall. I want to secure the southern border. I don't think we should rip babies out of the womb literally moments before they're being born. I think we should have a economic system and a tax system and a regulatory system that allows individual Americans to live their lives and make their investments and provide for their family. Isn't that pretty basic?
And one of the big things for me is when president after president after president said that they were going to move the embassy to Jerusalem. Right. This president did it, and it was about time. It was about time.
That's right.
Yeah, the bottom line is this town doesn't like the president because this town's not used to people coming here and doing what they said. But the American people, you all appreciate that very fact, and it's something I appreciate and Mark appreciates in this. I wish every single American could have time to sit down and talk with the president like we've had the privilege of doing a few times. And when you're around him, you can...
Hey, by the way, they're going to have the privilege on Saturday.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
but you can...
He's on Air Force One. Are you excited about the president coming here? Let him hear it. How about that?
I was just going to say, when you're around the president, you can sense the love he has for our troops, for our law enforcement, for the American. You can just feel it, and that's what you want in a commander-in-chief: someone who believes it, someone who's going to fight for it and do what they said.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we're really proud of this collaboration, what's going on with conservatives all across the country. By the way, some of the folks sitting here today might not even call themselves conservatives, right? We have a lot of people in this country that are looking at the country and saying, we tried this recipe of socialism for 8 years under Obama. It didn't turn out so good. You know who it really didn't turn out so good for? Really all of us. But if you were poor in America, your chances are your life got worse and you were more poor. If you were middle class in America, chances are you were stuck and you couldn't see advancement. You saw your kids and your grandkids struggling. So what I encourage you to do throughout this conference, throughout the next several days and throughout the rest of the year, reach out to these people. They're a little bit trying to find a home politically. Accept them. right? They might disagree with you on an issue here or there. They might not understand every part of our conservative philosophy, but if they're with us on a couple of key issues, that's an important alliance to me.
Well said, Matt. I think the interesting thing is when we start to unify around what truly makes us great, the little things don't matter quite as much, you know, and they may call you deplorable, but most people will call you adorable patriots. All right, just remember that. All right.
We might have a new theme from deplorable to
no,
adorable.
it doesn't work as well.
But the real theme, as you can see somewhere, it's a new stage this year. There it is. What makes America great? We know how special we are. I bet Jim Jordan can tell us, to close this out here, what he thinks makes America great.
Yeah, it's the idea that you can set goals and chase them down in this country. You have liberty, you have freedom, you have the First Amendment, your right to speak out, your right to practice your faith the way you think the good Lord wants you to. Most importantly, your right to set goals and make them happen for you and your family. That's what makes America special. And it's great that an organization like CPAC has been protecting those fundamental liberties for so many years.
Over and over again.
Could you all do me a favor? There are not two more. The reason why these two members of Congress are here today is there are not two more important people to protecting our values than Congressman Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows. Will you stand up and encourage them to keep up with the fight?
God bless you. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Great job.